spectacular specialist shuttle. Let's get together for a huddle, but not too close, got to keep the bubble. Let's start learning, come on, let's hustle. We fit together like a puzzle. Library, music, art, PE. It's the super spectacular specialist shuttle.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's art lesson. Kitty and I are so excited to wish you a happy new year. With our new year comes a new theme. The specialist this month will be talking about achievement as our theme. Do you know what achievement means? Hey Screech, I'm not talking about that. I said achievement, not achievement. Hey, I still don't think you get it, Screech. I didn't say appeasement. I said achievement. An achievement is when you are successful at doing something. Most of the time, it takes a little effort and a little practice, and sometimes it takes setting some goals to reach your achievements. A lot of times during the new year, people set goals for themselves. They call these New Year's resolutions, and they work all year towards these resolutions to try to achieve them. This month you will see the specialist try to achieve some new things. And in art class, you are going to learn about some artists that have achieved things. In library, Mrs. Strauss is going to teach you about some of the Caldecott Medal Award winners. These are picture book illustrators who have done an amazing job and have received the Caldecott Medal. In art class, I'm going to be talking about some of the techniques that these Caldecott winners have used. Our first winner that we are going to be talking about is Sims Tabak. He is an illustrator who uses die-cut collage and sometimes watercolor to create his illustrations. In 2000, Sims Tabak won the Caldecott Medal for his book, Joseph Had a Little Overcoat. This week, we are going to be looking at some of the pictures from this book, and we're going to be talking about some of the techniques that Sims Tabak uses. We are also going to use some of these techniques in our art project this week. All right, let's go see what Screech is up to before we get started. I wonder what Screech has in his treasure chest this week. It looks like he has some glue and some scissors, some little scraps of paper, and a pencil. I wonder what he's going to make. Wow, Screech made a collage using different kinds of paper. Nice job, Screech. I love that gold paper. You must be inspired by the new year.
Welcome to Vocab with Van Gogh.
This week, our word is collage. A collage is a type of art that is made by cutting out pieces of paper and gluing them to other pieces of paper. To create a collage, you can cut out or tear paper and glue it to a bigger piece of paper to create a picture. Collage is a fun way to use your imagination by taking one thing and making it into something else. Have you ever made a collage before? If you have, what kind of picture did you make? It looks like Screech used collage to make his artwork this week. He used 2 different kinds of paper and cut out different shapes and glued them together. Great job, Screech!
Welcome to Frida's Fellow Artists.
This week, we will be looking at the artist Sims Tayback. He won a Caldecott Medal for his picture book illustration of Joseph Had a Little Overcoat. You will learn more about him from Mrs. Strauss.
When I became an illustrator, I was an art director in an advertising agency. And I said to myself one day, is this what I want to be doing the rest of my life? I mean, I was still in my 20s. I was interested in doing children's books, but it was very hard to make a living doing children's books. You really had to have income coming in from different areas of illustration to balance it out. I just wanted to be an illustrator, basically. And every year or so, I would do a book. But I never considered myself a children's book illustrator per se. I was an illustrator, and I would do this and that, to make a living, basically, I started There Was an Old Lady That Swallowed a Fly when I was getting out of the greeting card business. And I had a line of greeting cards that was a die-cut line, which means that holes were either punched out of the cards or they were cut in the shape of an image. That was the look of my line, basically.
In his book, Joseph Had a Little Overcoat, Sims Tayback used the technique called die-cut collage. Look closely during this part. You will see some parts of the pages are cut out. When the pages are turned, this cutout becomes something new. Do you see these shapes turning into new things?
I hope you had fun learning about collage and Sims Tayback. I'll see you next time. Welcome to Salvador's Sillies.
What is a cow's favorite holiday? New Year's Eve. Why couldn't the astronauts have a New Year's party on the moon? Because they didn't plan it in time. What do farmers grow on January 1st? New Year's hay. Why do you need a jeweler on December 31st? To ring in the new year. What did the ghost say on January 1st? Happy Boo Year!
Welcome to Monet's Maker Station!
This week, I am going to teach you a very simple way to create a collage out of 2 pieces of paper. This method is inspired by Sim's Tayback because his images that are made of collage sometimes have 2 different meanings. Using this method will give your collage 2 different sides that have 2 different feelings. You can turn your collage into anything you want. You can add decoration using marker or crayon, or you can simply leave it how it looks when you're finished cutting and gluing. You will be using a simple shape for this activity. Think about what kind of shape you might want to use. Alright everybody, let's get started. For this activity, you will need a pencil, scissors and glue, and at least 2 different colored pieces of paper. You will need 1 piece of paper to be half the size of the other piece. An easy way to make 1 piece of paper half the size of the other is to fold it in half and then cut on the line. I am going to create an image using these 2 pieces of paper when I glue them together. The first step is to think of a shape that I want to be shown on the papers. On the smaller piece of paper, along one side, I am going to draw half of a shape. Can you guess what shape I'm doing here? This is a heart. I drew half of a heart with a pencil and now I'm cutting it out. I'm going to line up the corners, glue my piece of paper down, and you can see here the part that I cut out when flipped over makes the other side of the heart. I'm going to carefully use some glue to put my paper down onto the bigger piece. There is no limit to what kinds of shapes you can use for this project. I'm going to do another example now using different colored paper. Remember, 1 piece of paper needs to be half the size of the other. I'm going to fold my second piece of paper in half and cut along the fold so that it is the right size. For my last example, I used a heart shape. For this example, I'm going to do something a little bit more complicated. I am going to use my pencil to draw half of a tree, and I'm drawing it on the edge of the paper. Here is the top of the tree, and here is the trunk. Now I'm going to use a pair of scissors to cut along the pencil line very carefully. When it is cut out, I'm going to carefully use glue to line up the corners of the big paper and the little paper, and then carefully line up my little piece that was cut out. I am going to create another example using different colors. For this example, I'm going to use another really simple shape, a diamond. On the edge of the smaller paper, I'm going to draw half of a diamond using a pencil. Then I'm going to cut out along the pencil line, glue the little paper down on top of the big one, and flip the little shape over and glue that down as well. This next example is just for fun. The shape doesn't have to be anything that you know. I'm going to create a shape that's made up. This is a really fun shape using zigzag lines. Cut along the pencil line and glue down the shape. Flip over the little piece and you have a piece of art. Our project this week was inspired by Sim's Tayback. He uses a die-cut collage method. We are creating an image using 2 pieces of paper, and both sides have a different feeling or mood. To expand on this activity, you could add some illustrations to your pictures using markers or crayons. Maybe each side of your picture tells a different kind of story. Have fun and be creative. This week we learned that the Caldecott Medal is an award earned by outstanding children's book illustrators. Sim's Tayback won the Caldecott Medal in 2000 for his picture book, Joseph Had a Little Overcoat. And collage is a technique using cut paper and glue. To reflect, think about these questions. What is your favorite book with pictures? Do you know who illustrated this book? What kind of shape will you use for your art project this week? Remember to keep it simple. If you could draw the pictures for a story, what story would it be? We hope you had fun this week. We will see you next time.